Dude, it is super wild. But the other day, I was able to boil down my spiritual philosophy to like a singular point, dude. And like, whenever you're starting an endeavor, you always hope that you're kind of at the epicenter of it. You're at the beginning. Because if you start and you just keep working your way back through it, it's like you keep rehashing content, you keep all this shit. And I finally found what sums it all up in a very few short points. All of my philosophy hinges on it. It stands on it. In business, spirituality, honestly, they should stand on it in all your relationships and all of the other stuff too. All the other areas. Fitness is going to fall onto it. But it's compliance with universal principles and universal law. But it all boils down basically to God is light. And in Him, in this light, there is no darkness at all. So if you think about it, there would be no darkness in complete blinding light, right? The farther you get away from the light, the darkness starts to encroach in on it. But light too, from light stems all of the natural and known laws of the universe, dude, like frequency and vibration, the color spectrum, magnetism, just all of it, dude. They say God is the way, the truth, and the light. So if you can just agree, it's like basically it all starts there. And since we know that the entire universe is basically created from that, and all of the laws stem from that, then wouldn't it make sense that you would put all of your thoughts, words, deeds, actions, and found all of your beliefs on that system of thinking, like on absolute natural law? Because it's immutable, it's unchangeable, it's going to be in effect at all times, with a mathematical certainty, dude, and precision that you can time, like all this shit. So like, why wouldn't, once you realize that light is the basis for it and all the natural laws stem from it, then you realize that like there really is something that you have to found your beliefs on top of to be solid. And if you're trying to build anything in this world, then you need to be built on solid natural laws and principles that are immutable and unchangeable and are always going to exist. Like, by definition, if you're not doing it according to that stuff, then it's basically, there's no firm foundation on it, dude. It's taken me 25 years, dude, to boil this down in my mind to this one particular concept, dude. And the thing is, like, scientists, they always get like their epiphany for life and they write a paper on it and it like follows them through life. Like, this was mine, all right? And it's like the thing that is going to serve as the backbone for all of my introductions, all of my topics, all of my train of thought moving forward, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, fitness in the gym, all of it, dude. And this all serves for business, relationships, all of it, man. Because whenever you start doing things on natural law and according to your biology, then you're gonna realize that the way life is meant to be lived is way different than the social construct that we have been put under. And I've been trying to do things as a younger man. I tried to do things for a long time that were what man said that life has to be like. You got to do this, you got to act like this, But inside, dude, you're just dying, bro. Because your biology as a man or a female isn't meant to fit into these confines that everybody is trying to put on you. And like, you're just dying inside until you finally get enough courage to be like, dude, like something's off here. What is it? And you start asking why and getting down to the bottom of why. And you get the courage to basically start marching to the beat of your own drum, because you realize that something's off, dude. And whenever you start living according to the laws of the universe and light and everything that stems from it, like, you find your power again. Because honestly, your spirit and your biology, psychology, all of that is in alignment with it, since it stems from it. Like all of, like, I talk about the natural laws, the color spectrum, magnetism, frequency, sound, all of that stuff. It's like, that's on like the second layer from light. And then there's another outer layer, and it starts to reverberate into the smaller laws that we know today as like thermodynamic laws, laws of aerodynamics, laws of combustion, like the mathematical laws. It starts to get into those finer laws, and then even finer at that, like the laws that govern creation and like the botanical world, which is plants and all that, and why they act the way they do too. But we are a part of that creation, dude. And so it's actually in accordance with the natural law, and it's actually at man's social construct that we are at disharmony with in our inner being and in our soul, dude. And whenever we are living contrary to our soul, dude, I'm telling you, that's where all of the anxiety, depression, regret, remorse, self-loathing, hate, all self-hate, all of that shit stems from being out of alignment with your true self and who you are and how you are to interact in this plane, dude. It's a big deal, man. Like, there's this saying in the AA book, and it says that we can be restored to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to God. We can take God out of it and just say to reality, or to these laws that are in existence, right? Because if we wrongly relate ourselves to it, then we're going to be jumping off cliffs and gravity is going to be pulling us down, and that's pretty detrimental to the physical body. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is we've got to identify these things and live in accordance with them, and realize what's our part. Our part is, this is like a little elementary, but to stay away from that cliff. I don't know, that's not really a good example, but like the laws of reaping and sowing, like my part is to sow the seed, and then the universe and all the natural laws kick in and bring the increase to the seed, right? And then I've got to go and harvest it. Like, it doesn't, it's just like the universe don't just wave a magic wand and you can sit there on your couch and fucking reap a harvest you didn't sow. That's against natural law. It's kind of freestyling right now, but that is the epicenter of it all, is light, dude. Light, man. And light itself, like, darkness always flees the light. It's a concept. That even goes into the point where when there's like a natural progression and pecking order to people who have knowledge versus people who don't. Whenever you come up against a superior knowledge, you have to bow to it, man. Right? You're either going to bow to it and try to learn from it, or you're going to have to resist it and remove yourself from the light to the degree which you can withstand it, which that is how darkness, like, it can only get so close to the light depending on how fierce the light is, intense the light is, versus how intense the darkness is. Like, but darkness will always flee the light. Good will always win out. Like, there's no amount of darkness that can cover up a light, These are concepts that reign true in existence. They're natural laws that, like, it's a concept you can't get around. It's always going to win out. good always wins. Like, the light always triumphs over darkness. Darkness always flees from the light. Like, it's just a crazy thing, man, that like light hinges on everything. And you can draw a lot of correlations in between real life and I don't know, dude. Like, honestly, you probably need to get into, dude, Sir Isaac Newton, I just found out his whole thing was like, and Einstein too. Thomas Edison created the light bulb. Let's see who else. Nikola Tesla was all about electricity. Who else was there? Voltaire. Like, he was about static and electricity and stuff. I don't know too much about Voltaire, but I know he had something to do with electricity. And that being said, if you think about it, why were they so, like, I'll go back to this. Sir Isaac Newton actually had a book, and it was called Optics, dude. And he had another one. He wrote about 60 books, and I'm actually just kind of starting to get into maybe where I'm starting to see where maybe he was on to the same thing. I don't know, but he was studying the color spectrum and all that stuff from like light. And but anyway, so if you think about it, all of these great men in history always had electricity. Benjamin Franklin, electricity, light, came up with the lightning rod, the kite with the string. They're all on this static electricity and energy that reverberates from the universe, dude, right? And that comes from light. So it's even more boiled down than God is energy. Yes, that was my main take on what God was energy, but it wasn't clear enough. It wasn't precise. It actually gets boiled down further into it is light, and from that comes energy. And you can't make as direct and good of correlations with the model universe around you whenever you just think in pure terms of energy. You can draw a lot of distinctions, and it's a big key. But like, if you realize there's a step below that and it's light, then that really everything, all the other natural laws stem from it. Energy is just one little natural law that is on the sphere of, you know, all possibilities and all natural laws that stem from it. Crazy shit. But okay, going to electricity, right? They're all after electricity, figuring it out, physics and the light bulb, Nikola Tesla, fucking Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Edison, I know Voltaire, like there's a bunch of other people too. But what do they say? They're the elite, they're the elect. You know, the higher ups, they're the elect. Electric. Why is that, man? Like, it's always got to do with power and electricity and light, dude. Like, all these great thinkers in history have all been kind of in that zone of thinking. Dude, Benjamin Franklin, he invented his whole entire life, dude. He had like, I don't know about hundreds. I know he had a ton of inventions. It wasn't like he was just a boom, I had my one, you know, superb moment, one invention, and that's good. Thomas Edison didn't either. Nikola Tesla, he kept inventing. Dude, all of these men kept tapping into source, dude, and source is infinite. And so that's the thing, like, that's how they can just keep getting better and better and better and better and better with time, dude. Like, these people were tapped into universal consciousness and bringing forth things out of the ether. Think about the word ether. You get the word breath. You jumble the letters up, you get the word breath, earth, right? They're all derivatives from ether, dude. You're pulling things out of the ether. That static, spiritual, vibrant energy that is in the ether, dude, you're pulling it out, man. Crazy shit. I've got an order right now for Portillo's, and I need to go in and grab that shit. So I'm going to. Alright, dude, I'll probably make a part 2 on this, but I'm kind of glad that I got this down. Alright, peace.